Do you know why most people fail at manifestation even after they imagine perfectly? Because they treat the new state like a visitor treats a hotel room, briefly, excitedly, and then they return home to the old life. Good evening, my friends. Tonight I speak to you about the one skill that makes assumption unshakable, not the art of forming a scene, nor the craft of feeling it vividly for a moment. No, those are the easy parts. The mastery is far rarer, remaining. You see, the world will attempt to educate you into denial. It will display the same old evidence and whisper, nothing changed. And if you accept the whisper, you have moved rooms, have left the end and returned to the means. You have abandoned possession and entered waiting, and waiting is a state. Now listen closely. Your assumption does not become fact because you begged for it, nor because you deserved it, nor because you strained your mind into effort. It becomes fact because you occupied it so naturally, so steadily, that consciousness accepted it as your dwelling place. The physical world is only an echo. It cannot lead. It can only follow. It is a mirror that reflects what you have been, not what you are becoming. So if you judge your new life by the old mirror, you will feel shaken, discouraged, foolish. Yet the mirror is late by nature. Here is the counterintuitive truth that frees you. Circumstances do not determine your state. Your state determines circumstances. And so the question is not, can you enter the wish fulfilled? The question is far more piercing. Can you remain when the mirror still shows the past? Stay with me. Before we end tonight, you will know exactly how to become inwardly immovable. A state is not a mood. It is not optimism. It is not a temporary lift of emotion after a fine imaginal act. A state is a complete arrangement of consciousness, a total identity. Imagine consciousness as a vast mansion with innumerable rooms. Each room is a world. You do not create the rooms, you enter them. You do not build wealth or love or health out of nothing. You simply occupy the room where that is already true. The room called I am rejected has its own inner conversations, its own expectations, its own posture, its own interpretation of every event. The room called I am chosen has an entirely different atmosphere. The same outer day may occur, yet it is experienced as a different life because you are standing in a different room. This is why I insist. You are always living from a state. You cannot escape it. If you do not choose your state consciously, you will accept one unconsciously, often the one you learned in childhood, repeated in habit, strengthened by disappointment. Now the secret of remaining begins with one sentence you must accept as fact. The state you desire is real now, not real as a hope, not real as a future reward, real as a present reality in consciousness. When you assume it, you are not pretending, you are relocating. And relocation requires loyalty, not loyalty to appearances, loyalty to your chosen room. Here is the first discipline. Stop asking, is it working? That question belongs to the room of doubt. It implies distance, delay, and uncertainty. You do not ask if it is working when you are already the one who has it. You simply live. But how do you live there while the world still contradicts you, especially in the first hours of your day when the old identity tries to reclaim your mind? The most important word in manifestation is dwell. To dwell is to reside. To dwell is to make a home. Most students visit their desired state like tourists. They enter it for a short imaginal act. Then they return to the old home of worry for the rest of the day. They wonder why nothing changes, not realizing they have spent 20 minutes planting and 23 hours uprooting. So we begin where your mind is most impressionable, the edge of sleep. In the soft interval between waking and rising, you are suggestible. The world has not yet seized you. The old story has not yet been spoken. In that moment, choose. Before you move, before you begin the day, decide the room you will occupy. Ask yourself quietly, where am I dwelling today? Not what will happen, but who am I? Then assume, not with strain, with acceptance. Feel yourself as the one who already is, wealthy, loved, secure, free, whatever implies fulfillment. Let it be simple, like putting on a familiar garment. And then you rise as that person. Now understand, you may leave the state during the day. That is not failure, it is training. The difference between the beginner and the master is not that the master never wavers. The master returns instantly. Be a guard at the door of your mind. Thoughts will knock. Old reactions will attempt entry. Your duty is not to wrestle them, but to refuse them residence. You will practice a holy rhythm. Notice, return. Notice, return. But what precisely pulls you out faster than anything else? It is not the outer world. It is the world you speak within. So let us enter the hidden chamber that decides everything, your inner conversation. Your inner conversations are the soundtrack of your state. They are not harmless murmurs. They are confessions of identity. Listen to what you say inwardly when no one hears you. Do you say, still nothing, maybe I failed, perhaps it's not for me? Then you are speaking from lack, no matter how beautiful your imaginal acts were last night. The state is not maintained by effort. It is maintained by agreement. And agreement is language. So here is your practice. Observe the inner speech without condemnation. Then redirect it, not by argument, but by replacement. Old, I'm still waiting. New, it is done. Old, they don't choose me. New, I am wanted, I am chosen. Old, my body is fragile. New, I am whole, I move in strength. Now you will ask, how do I deepen faith without evidence? By realizing that consciousness is evidence. The imaginal act is experience. Repeated experience creates certainty. The more often you inhabit the state inwardly, the more natural it becomes, until it feels like memory rather than possibility. And when doubt knocks, and it will, do not fight it. See it for what it is, the old room calling you back. Refuse it attention, return. To help you remain, I give you 3 anchors. The feeling, return for 30 seconds, often. Gratitude, gratitude assumes possession, revision. Each evening, rewrite the moments you left the state and rehearse remaining. These anchors do not beg the world to change. They change you. Now there is a final sign that tells you the assumption has become unshakable. It is quiet, it is strange, and once it arrives, the outer world must yield. There is a moment when the desire no longer excites you. That may surprise you. People imagine that fulfillment feels like fireworks forever. But what does it feel like to truly possess something? It feels normal, natural, ordinary. You do not tremble about what is already yours. You do not chase what you already are. This is the Sabbath. Sabbath means rest, not rest from action, but rest from anxiety, rest from checking, rest from pleading, rest from measuring time. When you can assume the end and then live your day without desperate surveillance of appearances, you have entered the Sabbath state. You have stopped trying to make it happen and begun to be the one for whom it is already true. And listen, remaining is not perfection. You may wobble, you may have moments of fear, but mastery is the speed of return. The state is your home, and the old state becomes a place you visit less and less until it feels foreign. So tonight, I leave you with one quiet provocation. If the world is a mirror, why would you argue with glass? Why would you plead with reflection? Turn instead to the only power, the one who looks. Choose your room, dwell there. Speak from it inwardly. Feel it often. Give thanks as one who has received. Revise the day into harmony with your assumption, and then rest. Before you sleep tonight, enter the state of your wish fulfilled. briefly, vividly, lovingly, and then decide that you will remain there tomorrow through inner conversation, gratitude, and revision. Practice the return until the state becomes natural. Nothing can shake your assumption once you learn this. You are not trying to get it, you are becoming it.